Of the top 5 cancer killers in order, here is how mortality rates have changed since 1975. Lung cancer is up 19%, colon cancer down 40.5%, breast cancer down 27.4%, pancreatic cancer down 0.9%, next to nothing, and prostate cancer down 24.2%. One of the biggest advances has been in the survival of children with cancer.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause from Sarasota, Florida, Fantastic Flyer Senior Chorus.
If I had known that that last cheerleading competition was going to be the last one, you know, might have handled things differently.
I mean, she was a happy kid. She ate a lot. She was fun to be around. We were really close, like best friends almost.
We met actually through cheerleading. And throughout the years, we always ended up hanging out with each other. And she just, throughout the years, ended up being one of the closest friends that I have.
Her and my son were both the only kids in their respective classes that had straight A's all through elementary school. Then middle school kind of hit, and the social aspect kind of took over a little more.
I was a cheerleader for 9 years, so it was really different.
She wasn't able to cheerlead anymore, which was very hard for her.
She was a huge school cheerleader. I know she was one of the more popular cheerleaders.
You know, and her world just kind of came crumbling down. At first she thought she'd be able to make it back, then she was going to do the half-year team. But, you know, her whole physique, everything has changed so much.
The plan is that when she does get a little stronger, maybe next year or maybe 2 years, she would want to start cheer again.
If anything's going to change her, I don't think the cancer is going to change her that much because obviously her spirit is still amazing and she's still happy and she still gets good grades. I think the biggest thing that's going to change about her future is cheerleading and the role that it played in her life and the fact that it's not in her life anymore.
And I think that's probably been the hardest for her. Well, for about a year she had been having back pains, and with cheering that's a common ailment.
I kept on telling my parents that I had back pain, and they just thought that it was the regular back pain I had had from cheer. And I had a lot of doctor's appointments and got blood taken probably twice a week.
And then some MRIs were done. And then just the one night she came home from cheer crying that she couldn't even breathe, and I called her doctor at home that night at 9:30 and said, I got to bring her in, something else is going on.
A few days later, the results from my blood work came back and they admitted me to All Children's Hospital.
It's crazy. CDC, everybody in because they just couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And they were guessing either mononucleosis or leukemia.
And on January 30th, my doctor told me that I had leukemia.
It was January 30th, I believe, and I got a text message from Skylar that clearly stated 3 words, I have cancer.
Well, actually, the day I found out, I heard about it from a friend of mine. I called my mom and she told me.
I was extremely sad, but it didn't hit me till the day after when I got to school and people asked me, are you okay, is she okay, and all that, so I left school early.
In the car ride home, I like texted my sister, like asking her if she was like all right and like all this stuff, trying to make her feel better.
At first I was really nervous, and then I just put my head down on my desk and started crying.
It took a few days definitely for it to sink in and for me to actually realize that I had leukemia. My mindset was kind of just go in, get it over with, and do what you can while you're feeling good, because there are going to be bad days where I can't get anything done. My friends and family have supported me a lot, especially with the whole Skylar's Army situation, and All Children's Hospital is an hour away from my house, so my mom drives me there and back, or my stepmom or my dad drives me there and back. My stepbrothers come and visit me if I'm admitted into the hospital overnight, and my brother comes. Sometimes I'll bring a friend or like my stepbrothers in just outpatient, because that's still like 3 hours sitting there.
I've learned that like with the support of like family and friends, you can pretty much get through anything. Like this was very difficult for her, and she wasn't able to walk very well. Like she couldn't go up the stairs. We had to move her room like downstairs pretty much.
I've done the Relay for Life. I wore wristbands. Just make sure she has everything she wants when she wants it, and make sure she's comfortable where she is.
I just like to support her and help her with anything she needs, and when I see that she's upset, I cheer her up, and I text her and I call her and I come over, and we just have deep conversations about whatever she needs.
Got new comforters, curtains, everything, trying to make her feel as at home and comfortable as possible. But, you know, like even last night, you know, she slept in my bed, had a rough day of chemo. You know, it's just being there for her, making her favorite foods, you know, because her appetite, you know, is very up and down. You know, just trying to keep her as comfortable as possible and keep her friends around. There were times she didn't want friends over, and I'd insist. I'd call them and say, just come over, you know, just to give her a boost.
I basically just came up with the name Skylar's Army, and we got a bunch of ideas for like shirts and other things like that and bows.
I thought that that was amazing, and seeing some people that I didn't even know, like hashtag that on their pictures was just mind-blowing.
A lot of kids were like intrigued and saw, like everyone was upset about this whole Skylar, the fact that she was diagnosed with cancer, but seeing good things be brought out of it, like the shirts and the support that was being shown, gave everybody a lot of hope and really showed Skylar, I think, the support that was meant to be shown.
At first, I think she was a little overwhelmed because she didn't understand it, you know, why all these people were caring about her and complete strangers.
That still hasn't processed in my mind, that there's people all around the world that kind of know about me.
I think she likes the attention. Like she has people from like Australia following her on Instagram.
Like just this morning during first period, I was talking to a girl who lives in Australia.
All these people got together, raised money, got her gifts that she wouldn't have had otherwise, like just things that you would never expect from people. People really put themselves towards it.
I think that every time she looked at our shirts when we were at competitions or our bracelets, she thought about everyone that had one on and everybody that owned one, and all of them sitting like at home in our drawers, and that she knew that we were all there to support her.
Yeah, but the support definitely helped. It was really good for her.
I was one of the people to give money towards that. I don't think I ever told Dakota or Skylar or Missy, for that matter, that I actually did give like $100 to Skylar's Army when it was first put together, because it really touched me. Like I have had family members who have had cancer, so seeing that happen to someone who I knew Dakota as a friend, seeing that happen to someone's family that I knew, it just kind of, you know, it pushed me to want to do something for him, for her, for their family. So I think Skylar's Army was an incredible thing for all of her friends to do that for her. I think it was an amazing effort that they all put towards her, and it really shows you how one person can affect all these other people. Dakota is, you know, her brother. It's he does not treat her any differently, which I think personally is good for Skylar.
We still like play around and still like make fun of each other a little bit, just like brother and sister do, but overall we're definitely a lot closer.
You know, it's hard. He just turned 17, you know, kind of threw his whole world for a loop too. But I think he's, you know, really stayed strong, and I think she knows that he would be there for anything for her, and I know he'll do anything he needs to for her.
I guess as soon as Skylar got cancer, her brother sent her this big long text message saying how much he loves her and wishes it was him that got it. Showed that he actually did care about her, which he didn't show much affection before the cancer. He'd fight with her all the time. He still does, but I mean, it showed her that he actually does love her a lot.
My brother and I, obviously, like every other siblings, we never really got along too well, but seeing that he's actually there for me when it comes down to it is nice.
I think it's really good that they have that relationship that they do. Seeing her diagnosed with cancer has definitely put in perspective what can happen, for sure. I think it did that for everyone when she was diagnosed. Everyone kind of came together, you know, the whole Skylar's Army thing, and I think it really made people think about the fact that there's only, you know, so much time that we all have, and there are these illnesses that you don't think of that can still touch your life.
Well, it's definitely showed me that anything can happen at any given moment, being as we thought that she had back pains and problems with just her back when that's not all it really was. She actually had cancer at the time and nobody expected it.
You always see statistics about like how many people get cancer, the percentage and everything, but you like never really think it could happen to your family, and it just kind of like put everything in perspective, like that it just like occurred like in high school, just like growing up and everything. Like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how like rough the treatments were gonna be and everything.
Yeah, people don't understand how bad the chemo can get, how sick, how nauseous, the pain. I mean, just joint pain, back pain, stomach pain. I don't know, I've always had the attitude, you know, that you can do anything, you know, no matter what is thrown at you. I guess this really proves it, you know, that you can make it through, you know, just stay strong and move forward, and there will be an end in sight eventually.
Just to like live every moment like it's your last, and don't let a second waste, because you never know what could happen tomorrow.
It taught me to appreciate the things that I do have and not to take anything for granted.
I'm definitely going to remember how strong I was at times when it really got hard with chemo, and I'm going to carry that with me throughout my life to know that I can overcome anything that I really try to.